people were shot in the Brookland neighborhood. Officials say it happened around 6:30 Thursday night, not far from Noyes Park and 12th Street. The male and female victims were taken to the hospital. We are still working to learn more on their conditions. An event gets underway in the district today to honor Terry Bennett, the police officer who died earlier this year. He was hit by an allegedly impaired driver on the side of I-695 2 days before Christmas. He died 2 weeks later. Bennett's family plans to hold a public event in Landsberg Park this evening to honor his memory. Terry's birthday was Tuesday. He would have turned 33 years old. Well, 5 years later, the search continues for a missing D.C. teacher. Today marks exactly 5 years since Ian Solheim disappeared from East Capitol Street after calling his mother for help during a mental health crisis. Solheim was a teacher at Woodrow Wilson High School. He is 6'3" tall with hazel eyes and light brown hair. He was last seen wearing a pink button-down shirt and khaki shorts. If you have any information, call D.C. Metropolitan Police.
There's so many people out in the public asking all of these questions. But the only question that we have is what happened to our son.
An independent autopsy conducted right here in D.C. is fueling new questions in the mysterious death of Mississippi college student Nolan Wells. Attorney Ben Crump says the examiner found unexplained discoloration on the teen's head, ruling that the cause of death was undetermined, but not ruling out foul play. It comes as new details emerge from that July 4th boating trip. In a new interview, a friend claims that Wells chose to stay behind on Horn Island instead of boarding their sinking boat. The friend says he later alerted Wells' mother and the Coast Guard when the teen never made it back to the mainland. Coming up after the break at 8:15, trial attorney Michelle C. Thomas is going to join us to break down the legal pressure mounting on investigators. In the meantime, a local family is rallying for justice. The parents of Kendrick Johnson, the Georgia teen found dead inside a high school gym mat back in 2013. They're gathering outside the U.S. Supreme Court this morning. Starting at 10 a.m., advocates will join the family to demand accountability now that the high court has agreed to reopen the controversial investigation. For more than a decade, Johnson's parents have fought for answers, pointing to mishandling evidence and systemic failures after officials originally ruled his death a freak accident. A juvenile curfew zone just announced for later tonight in Southeast D.C. D.C. police say from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., those under 18 cannot gather in large groups by the Berry Farm Rec Center. Authorities are also reminding people that the citywide curfew still runs from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. An investigation is underway at UDC this morning after near drowning at a summer camp this week. Today, several UDC employees are on leave. 6-year-old Adonis Jackson is still fighting for his life at a pediatric ICU. He was found at the bottom of an on-campus pool. Authorities say the lifeguard was on a lunch break, even though nearly 30 children were in the water. The university says its aquatic director, manager, and lifeguards on duty at the time are all on leave during the investigation. Adonis' family also released a statement saying, in part, "We take the university at its word that this review will be thorough, fact-based, and transparent, including as to the actions, responsibilities, decision-making, oversight, and compliance, or lack thereof, of every individual and entity involved." Hundreds of incoming Howard University students say they learned this week that they were unenrolled from the class of 2030, just days before they were set to move into campus. The students received notice that they missed a July 10th deadline to pay tuition. But students say it's a big mistake, arguing that they are still waiting on outside scholarships, military benefits, or financial aid that isn't typically posted to student accounts until August 1st. Howard University says it is reviewing the situation, but maintains deadlines must be met. 5 teen basketball players from D.C. and their coach are waking up behind bars this morning in Central Florida, accused of a theft caught on camera while they were in town for a tournament. Fox 5's Sydney Persing is in the district with the video and the details.
The sheriff down in Polk County, Florida, clearly wanted to make an example of this case, and he did that by posting about it to his more than 1.5 million social media followers. He also shared video of this alleged crime. We're going to show it to you here right now. You can see that we've blurred the teens' faces. We're not naming them or showing their mugshots as released by the sheriff because they are minors. But according to the sheriff, they are from D.C. and Maryland, ages 16 and 17, and were caught stealing from a 7-Eleven in Central Florida yesterday just after 4 in the morning. Investigators say the kids are part of a travel basketball team, that they were in Florida for a tournament. They are accused of stealing food and drinks, less than $40 worth, Doritos, gummies, Starburst, sausage, lemonade, and Slurpees. They fled, though, according to the sheriff, when the clerk confronted them. He said deputies then located 3 of the 5 teens and that they'd hidden the stolen goods in a backpack in bushes. Their coach, 27-year-old Malik Harvey, is not accused of being involved in that theft, but in a video posted to social media, the sheriff said when deputies made contact with the coach, they asked him if he could identify the remaining 2 suspects in the video, but that he lied about knowing them.
Of course, we had 3 in custody. He denied knowing who the other 2 were. He resisted us when he did not cooperate in the investigation, when he directly lied, when he misled us. Well, of course he knew who they were, but he lied to us. Oh, did I tell you that he works for the Department of Juvenile Services in Cheltenham Youth Detention Center in Maryland? That's right. So he works in the criminal justice system, and he lied to us.
So we did reach out to the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services for a statement about the coach's alleged employment there, which you heard the sheriff mention. We have not yet heard back. We also tried contacting Coach Harvey himself, but we're not able to reach him either. He faces a child neglect charge now, as the sheriff says that before the theft, he'd actually arranged an Uber for the teens to an Airbnb where there was no adult present yet. He also faces charges for resisting without violence, accessory after the fact, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The teen boys were each charged with conspiracy to commit retail theft, tampering with evidence, petty theft, and violation of the county curfew ordinance for juveniles.
And that was Sydney Persing reporting. After a week of tracking Bertha, it has almost fizzled out. A time lapse from above is going to show the storm dissipating. Parts of Texas, they are still seeing some effects like heavy rain and some storm surge. All right, bring you closer to home. Let's take a live look outside on this Saturday morning. It's 8:06 right now. Our quad box showing conditions looking pretty good. I think you're going to like what's in tap for this afternoon. Gwen Talbert, she's here talking all about it. Hey, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I mean, we've got the clouds this morning, but this afternoon we've got some sun coming in.
There you go.
It's going to be a really comfortable day too, Maureen.
Yeah.
We're going to get a little bit of the humidity mixing back in the picture this weekend, but it's going to be tolerable. So let's not complain too much about that. So afternoon sunshine is my headline. A very nice day. Temperatures are going to be below the seasonal average, but it's still going to be all right. 67 degrees as we start out this morning. Lots of clouds. Winds are from the south-southwest at about 8 miles an hour. And here's a look at what's happening on satellite radar composite. We've got this storm system that's to the south of us. That's pulling everything out into the Atlantic and well to the south. But there is some residual kind of stray showers here and there that some of you have seen this morning. But a ridge of high pressure is building in to hold us steady at least for this afternoon. So this is moving out, and we will get the clouds following with it too before too long. So you will finally get to see some bright skies. 67 at Martinsburg this hour, 68 for Cumberland, 68 at Hagerstown, double sixes, Manassas, Quantico, 69 at Baltimore, and 67 at Gaithersburg. And here's your planner for the day. Look at that. The sun will be coming out late morning into midday. Hanging tight for the afternoon hours, which is nice as we climb gradually, as I said, into the low 80s. Now, if you're heading out the door right now, that's what you can expect, but 70 degrees mild. 9 o'clock hour if you're heading out, 72 degrees and mild. We're not going to have anything happening in the wind department today, so this is the day to kind of plan maybe a little bit of grilling outside. That would work well. 83 at Manassas for a high, the same at Quantico, 84 in the city, and 83 at Frederick. I'll have more coming up at the 7-day on the other side. Maureen?
Gwen, thank you. Turning our attention now overseas, the U.S. just carried out its 13th straight night of airstrikes on Iranian military sites. New video from CENTCOM is showing the impact while Tehran fires back, targeting U.S. assets around the Gulf. The 2 weeks of escalating violence has sent oil prices soaring past $100 a barrel. President Trump claims the ramped-up attacks are forcing Tehran to get serious about negotiations. But at the same time, the White House says he is weighing a joint military campaign with Israel ahead of a high-stakes meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister next week.
The attempted mass murder at the Washington Hilton, that's what it could have been, was an assault on our democracy itself. Very serious situation.
Heavy security blocked roads and law enforcement everywhere outside the Waldorf Astoria on Pennsylvania Avenue last night as President Trump finally took to the stage for the rescheduled White House Correspondents' Dinner. The president delivered his remarks to White House correspondents months after an alleged assassination attempt forced the cancellation of the original April dinner. That scare happened when a man fired a shotgun at a security checkpoint outside the event's ballroom. During his speech last night, President Trump reflected on that day, praising the bravery of his allies while also taking a jab at the crowd. Trump told journalists they were doing an amazing job, but warned that the crowd not to believe the fake news. He also reiterated that the ongoing campaign in Iran is going, quote, extremely well, despite climbing gas prices across the U.S. Before leaving the stage, he offered the room a scoop about his political future. All right, more to come right after the short break. We'll be right back.